You are now listening to AB on the Unpopular Opinion Podcast.
Yes. You are listening to Unpopular Opinion. This is the boy AB. I'm not even going to hesitate. I'm just going to get right into it, man. It's been an interesting week in sports. And, I've been trying to get this out for a while. I just haven't had the time to really sit down and really think things through and record. But here we go. We're here now. So, I have a rundown for today. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be some good things to talk about. But the first thing I got to talk about is something that happened almost a week ago now. Not quite. And I know it's been ran down through the sports media ways because there's not much going on in the NBA right now. And, ESPN and the likes of others are just fishing for topics. So I'm going to go ahead and cover it and get my take on it as well. You already know where I'm going probably. The Kobe comments at a keynote speaking event. Probably an event that he was paid very well for. By the way, I'm not in the man's pockets, but hey, it's Kobe. That's my dog. And so Kobe has something to say about Shaq, and we're going to get into that right now. So Kobe basically said, the guy asked him, I'm sorry, let me go to that point. The guy asked him if Shaq had your work ethic, how many rings, how many championships would you and Shaq and the Lakers have? Kobe responds, as you heard, have 12 rings, 12 effing rings. That's what he said. Now, I'm pretty sure Kobe was exaggerating a little bit, engaging in hyperbole, but maybe not. We don't know. Like, Kobe is a man that I think we know that Kobe says what he means and means what he says. Not to say that Kobe doesn't joke around, but I think we all know that team was not winning 12 rings. No team has won even close to that since the NBA has began, since the Bill Russell Celtics back in the 60s. So, I don't see that happening. I don't think anybody saw that happening. I would say, in my opinion, I would say maybe 5-6 rings. Definitely, if Kobe and Shaq were getting along, if Kobe was okay with being the number 2 for that long, because I think at that point, if I'm not mistaken, Kobe, I know for a fact, Kobe was already elevating his game to a point where he was a number 1 option. And just like the media has done, and I can't even say the fans, the media has done to Penny and Shaq when Shaq was playing in Orlando. That was the thing between Anthony Hardaway and Shaq, was who was the number 1 guy. I mean, you go back, they were commercials. If you watch that documentary with the Orlando Magic and their run to the finals during that time, that I feel like would have happened, and maybe even worse, because Kobe's ego and Penny's ego. Penny has the ego now, don't get it twisted. Penny is just real low key. But Kobe is in your face. He'll tell you what he says. He'll tell you what he thinks, good, bad, or indifferent. And we all know that Shaq is sensitive and has an ego as well. So, I think it was inevitable that it was going to come to a head at some point. Kobe would have continued to elevate his game. And I have to address this because I know that this has been the main word that has been pushed out there for during that time. It's already kind of slept. The ESPN and other networks have gone on to new topics, but this has been the word that's been pushed out over and over and over. Lazy. And I have to say that Kobe never uttered that word. Kobe understands that you can't be lazy and be in the, like, truly be lazy and be in the NBA or be even close to Shaq's level. Let's get that out of the way right now. The guy asked him if Shaq had your work ethic. Now, we do understand who we talking about right now, right? We do understand that. This is Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe freaking Bryant, the Black Mamba, 5-time champion, one of the hardest workers, I would say, ever in sports, in any sport, but definitely in basketball. One of the hardest workers, took care of his body, went through injury after injury after injury. We don't even talk about this enough, but Kobe had so many injuries throughout his career, and I know the main ones that we talk about is torn Achilles. We talk about the knee that happened, I think, the following year, and then we talk about the shoulder near the, all consistently happened near the end of his career. But what a lot of people don't talk about is Kobe. I don't know. I don't know the exact. I would have to talk to Kobe myself, but I know for a fact that Kobe was playing with a broken finger for years. His fingers will never be the same. It won't be like how it's normally supposed to operate, but like Kobe played with injuries, and I can't recall which playoffs it was, but I remember specifically like Kobe was playing with a broken finger. It might have been that year that they played Orlando in the finals, his MVP season. But Kobe played with so many injuries. Taped it up, was ready to go. I'm pretty sure he played with sore ankles and ankle sprains and knee issues, all types of stuff, man. But I know that like Kobe was relentless and was always ready to go. We just heard his comments, I think it was yesterday or the day before that, about load management. Like, what is that? It's load management. And I'll get into his quote about that later. But Kobe took no days off, man. Kobe was a relentless worker. He was always trying to work on his game, always trying to be better, always trying to be number one. He was going for the GOAT. He was going for Jordan. I think most basketball fans would say that, he came just a little short of that, but he ain't come too short of that. Let's not get it twisted. Like, Kobe is top 10 all time, universally on most lists. But as far as hardest workers, Kobe deserves to be in that upper echelon list. Now, we can't front here and say, even if you the die-hardest Shaq fan, even if you the hardest Shaq fan, you can't sit here and tell me that Shaq wouldn't be, top 3, top 5 all time. I don't think Kobe was too far off by saying that Shaq would have been the GOAT if he worked as hard as Kobe did. If he worked on his diet, coming into the league, immediately working on his diet, being in the gym every day, I guarantee you his free throw percentage wouldn't be the way it was. I guarantee you that. If Shaq worked on his free throws, and I know Shaq always says he makes them when it counts. Pretty much, yeah, he's right about that. But they wouldn't even need to count if you were making them throughout the game, because Shaq was averaging I don't know, man. I'm throwing out a number here, but it might be higher, it might be lower, but I'm pretty sure he's averaging 15 a game, 15 free throw attempts a game in his prime, because people just weren't trying to deal with him in the paint. He would just beat you into submission in the paint, throwing elbows, throwing his body around, dunking on you, dunking on your head. Watch out below. That was Shaq. He had it all, man. He had a handle for a big guy. And we not talking about just big, a standard, big guy. We talking about 7'1", 320 pounds, of muscle. You know what I'm saying? Shaq Diesel. You know, Shaq was it. So, and we know this too. We know that Kobe was not shy about telling whoever to their face what he really meant. If Kobe wanted to say that Shaq was lazy, he would have said it at that keynote event. Guarantee you. You know how I know that? Because Kobe told Shaq while they were playing, while they're in the same locker room, that he was lazy. So that Instagram post that Shaq posted later of him dunking on 3-4 Nets players with the caption, "Damn, I was lazy." I think that just shows like Shaq's sensitivity. It shows that it stung a little bit. I think when Kobe says things to Shaq, it does a little more. It's a little deeper dig. Because Shaq was there, you know what I'm saying? He saw how he worked. He saw, what was really going on. So I think that Kobe can get to Shaq a little bit more than anybody else would. And, when Kobe's comments came out, Shaq responded with, "Damn, if you would have shot less in the 2004 finals against the Pistons, then yeah, we would have won more. We would have definitely won that championship. And you can't get a statue being lazy." And I just like don't like when the narrative is twisted into something that somebody wasn't implying. Like, and I think the media helped spin that too. They helped churn those wheels. But let's get it clear, man. Like, Kobe wasn't saying that Shaq was lazy. He did say that when they were playing, but he wasn't saying that at that keynote event. He was saying that if he had my work ethic, let's just talk about that. If he had my work ethic, then we would have definitely won more rings than we did. We would have won 12. Now, again, like, I don't think they would have won 12, but hey. And I think the interesting discussion that I also saw on ESPN was like, who would you take in their primes, Kobe or Shaq? I think Max Kellerman took Shaq. Stephen A took Kobe. That's a tough one for me, just because I'm like the biggest Kobe fan. Like, I love Kobe Bryant, man. Like, that's one of my truest inspirations in life. Like, he's one of my figures that I look at and say, man, like, that's who I aspire to be like. Yeah, Kobe's my guy, but I don't know. I really want to like dodge this question. I posed the question and now I want to dodge the question. Just because Shaq, like, I respect Shaq a lot, man. Like, I mean, we can't deny this dude, like, how great he was in his prime. There's a reason why he won 3 finals MVPs. And even the year that they won a championship, he won a championship in Miami with D Wade, he was still like, after the toe injuries and after, all the things that happened with the Lakers, he still came to Miami and averaged like 22 and 13. So it's like, this dude is just crazy good, you know what I mean? But I think for longevity, okay, say like, who would I take in their primes? I'm probably taking Shaq. Like, I'm taking Shaq. In their primes, I'm taking Shaq. But to start a franchise with, I'm taking Kobe, just for the reasons that we're talking about. Like, work ethic, longevity, how serious they took the game, like, aspiring to be the best. And just like some of the points that Stephen A pointed out, like, I want like a perimeter guy that don't need a big guy. Like, you don't need, a guard doesn't need a big guy to give him the ball. The big guy needs the guard to get him the ball, or forward in LeBron's case. And I want a guy that can take the last shot, that can score, assist, rebound, and defend at a high level. That's another thing Kobe don't get enough credit for. I think his defense. He was all time one of the best defensive players like in the world while he played. I would say one of the best in history. He made so many all defensive teams. So, I'm taking Kobe to start my franchise with, though. Absolutely. Like, I'm taking Kobe. So, that's that. So, quickly, I want to discuss some of the things that are happening actually in tennis. And y'all know I don't cover tennis a lot, but I think this is a great time for tennis watchers and tennis fans everywhere. I did play tennis for a little short stint in high school. I wasn't very good at it, but I wanted to be, I wanted to try it and see what it was like. It's fun. It's a fun game, man. It'll really push you to the limit. I mean, your stamina has to be A1. It's very, very much of a mental game as it is physical. I got a lot of respect for tennis players just in general. So watching the sport and how trash I was at the game, and seeing like how great people like Rafa Nadal or Roger Federer or Coco McGruff or Naomi or Serena, seeing how great they are, Sloane Stephens, seeing how great they are, and in comparison to me, of course, I didn't work as hard as they did or put as much time into it, but just phenomenal athletes, man. I think they definitely should get more respect in the sports world. But as we sit today, Naomi did lose in the U.S. Open. She wasn't able to defend her title as the number one, as the champ in the U.S. Open. She did lose to Belinda. I think I'm saying this right, Bencic. So they lost. She lost Monday in straight sets. So pretty resounding loss. Wasn't very dramatic, and unfortunately she loses out, and we'll see her at the next tournament, I'm sure. But Coco also lost. What are we talking about, Dave? She lost actually to Naomi, and then she lost in her doubles. She lost in the doubles too. So, Coco, I think Coco is like, can be, I won't say right now, but she can be the face of tennis right now. Just her name, people are, big fans of her. And I think if I was a betting man right now, I would say that like Coco would be the one to carry tennis past Serena. Like after Serena's going, who knows when that'll be, because Serena is like the GOAT. Serena is Tom Brady of tennis. She's Michael Jordan of tennis. She as soon as you think she's done, she comes back and wins 3 more rings. Like, I think after Serena's baby, after she gave the birth of her child, like, people just assume like, oh, like Serena's already up there in age, she had this baby. It's gonna be a downslope from here. It's gonna be, she's gonna fall very quickly. But sure enough, right now as we speak, she still is she's still doing it. She's still doing her thing. Like, she's still competing. She's still dominating. She's just phenomenal. She got that snatch back. Like, as soon as she had her baby, it was just like, okay, back to it, like ready to go. And it's just phenomenal to see, man. It's like amazing to see such an amazing talent. We really are witnessing greatness, and it's just dope. Oh, by the way, man, I saw this too, and this isn't big news, but there was like this little thing about Naomi dating YB and Corday. Good for them, man. Very happy for them. I kind of like personally just for me, just being on Instagram and being a creep, I guess. I saw like whenever YBN would post like things or whatever, like Naomi would always comment. So it wasn't surprising to me to see like them dating. Good for them, man. Like YBN is a phenomenal talent as a rapper. Like I think he will also be one of those ones who like carries the torch for like real like if you are a hip hop listener and you appreciate lyricism and storytelling and things of that nature, I think YBN is your guy. He's one of those ones who you can really enjoy and listen to. Go check out The Lost Boy. His album is out right now. It's been out for like a month now, but a lot of people are saying it's like one of the best albums of the year, if not the top album of the year for hip hop. So, go check that out. And but anyway, so yeah, man, just excited for like the US Open and like tennis right now. Definitely going to be watching that finals, whoever makes it. I think for both male and female. So really excited about that. But I think Coco will be the one, like I said, to carry on tennis at the Serena. But it's going to be great. I mean, tennis is in a great spot. Like I said, we got Sloane Stephens, we got Coco, we got Naomi, we got just in men's tennis, of course, you still got like Djokovic and Nadal. I think that's how you say that dude's name. Yeah, Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, top guys still doing it. And Federer is my dog. Like that's always one of my favorites. And as y'all could tell, like I don't watch tennis like heavy, but I keep my eye on it. So anyway, I'm so excited. So excited. Football season starts literally in 3 days. Like I can't tell y'all how hype I am for this. Like if I wasn't where I am right now, I would scream. I would like give out a little yell of excitement because I'm just so happy for what's about to come, man. Like it's like football season. I think I'm most excited for this season more than I have been for like maybe the past, I would say 7 or 8 years. Like I haven't been this excited about football. Even the year that my team won the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles, y'all could say whatever. My Philadelphia Eagles fans, shout outs to y'all. But anyway, like even the year we won the Super Bowl, I wasn't that excited at the beginning of the season as I am for this season coming up. So I just can't wait, man. And actually, and I'll release this because it'll be like a lost file release. It won't be an official release, I guess, but it'll all be on YouTube and Spotify and everything else probably. But as I was recording the last episode, Andrew Luck just surprised and shocked the world by retiring from the NFL. And if you draft your fantasy team before that happened, I'm really sorry for you. If you drafted Andrew Luck, I feel bad for you. Ezekiel Elliott still hasn't signed. I think I talked about that briefly. I may not have, but he still hasn't signed. And I think the deadline was today, if I'm not mistaken. But they said, there were reports that they were really close to a deal happening, but it just never, it hasn't happened yet. So, I think maybe Zeke will push it, maybe like this game coming up and maybe the next one, because those are really the only ones the Cowboys can afford. And don't let them drop the ball and lose those two games, because I think most people would say outside of Giants and I think Redskins, I think who they play in week 2, but outside of Giants and Redskins fans, yes, they play the Redskins week 2. A lot of people that are betting on that game are betting for Dallas to win. So, I mean, they have enough, people would say, without Zeke to win those games. So Dak is looking pretty good. You know, the time that he played in the preseason, they've now him and Omari have had an entire offseason to build their chemistry and build upon what they did last season. And Amari is looking like a maybe a top 5, top 10 receiver again. I'm kind of stretching, probably saying top 5, because we know top 5, or my top 5 is DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones. I want to say AJ Green because that's my dog, but he ain't quite top 5. Michael Thomas, Antonio Brown, and who am I missing? Man, it's a fight for that number 5 spot because you got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Evans, you got Devontae Adams, you got Juju. You know, you got a lot of guys who could fight for that like number 5 spot, and you can just throw whoever. Tyreek Hill, you can throw whoever you want in that spot, but you know, Odell Beckham, you know, let's not forget like how great of a talent he is. So, you know, it's a lot of guys you can throw in that top 5, but resoundingly, definitely DeAndre Hopkins got to be there, Julio got to be there, Michael Thomas got to be there for me, and Antonio Brown. Like those 4 have to be there, I think, in most lists. And then number 5, you can kind of throw whoever you want, but you know, to go back to the Cowboys, like I think, you know, if Cowboy fans, if y'all want to win the Super Bowl, gotta sign Zeke. I think we know that. They're not winning the Super Bowl without Zeke. I don't even think they're winning the Super Bowl with Zeke. But you know, if you talk to the Dallas Cowboys fans, they gonna say that they gonna win every year. So we've heard it all before. And when the last time they won the Super Bowl again? Okay, all right, yeah, when I was, you know, in pre-K or something. So, you know, that's that. Not to say that they can't, because I would say that they have the most talented team since those Super Bowl runs back then. But talent don't win championships. We all know that. It helps, but you gotta kind of, in the NFL, man, you gotta kind of be lucky. Like the things gotta kind of fall in your lap, or fall in your favor, not fall in your lap. But you know, we talking about injuries. Major injuries can happen, like it has for so many, you know, teams in the past. You got suspensions in Dallas's case that can happen. Seems like every season 1 or 2 people getting suspended. You can already count that, book it every year. Vegas, if they had a betting for what team gonna have the most suspensions, or if a team is gonna have a suspension, you betting on the Cowboys. I'm putting 1,000 on the Cowboys quick. You know, like I said, I'm broke, so 1,000 to me right now, I gotta make sure I'm winning that bet. So yeah, if there was a bet for that, Dallas Cowboys would be number 1 on my list. But anyway, like, I don't think they need Zeke for week 1. They might not need him for week 2. But they gonna definitely need him eventually. Cause and I think they'll get him signed. You know, they might not even need him. I mean, they played Miami in week 3. So I would say the first 3 weeks they don't need Zeke. So, you know, Jerry Jones can keep extending this out, and you know, and see if Zeke bite. And they don't have to resign. Like, that's the thing. Like, he still has 2 more years on his contract, and you know, maybe he'll just crack under the pressure and seeing his teammates go out there and him not being able to play. You prep all off season to play football when the regular season comes, and you want to be out there with your guys. You love the game. And I'm not one of the people that are like fighting on the side of the owners. I'm just giving both perspectives. But in my personal opinion, I think the running back market is like undervalued, like highly, especially in today's age of football. We're not talking about football where running backs are, you know, they're not they're not just runners, anymore. They're pass catchers out the backfield. We talking about so I don't even know where I was. But so okay, I know where I was. So I'm one of those people that are pro running back. I think that the running back market should increase, if anything. I think that running back should be getting paid more. And I know that some teams are running back by committee, but I think if you have a talent like Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey or Ezekiel Elliott, Le'Veon Bell, those upper echelon, Saquon Barkley, those top upper echelon running backs, I think they should be paid as such, because you pay those running backs to be every down backs. You don't pay those backs to be running back by committee. And most times, I would say you gotta have a pretty good running back in most cases to win Super Bowls. We look at, even last year, and I think James White is a great compliment to Tom Brady. But when we won our Super Bowl, we had Jay Ajayi, we had Clement. We did have a running back by committee, but Jay Ajayi was also a 1,000-yard rusher that year. Even last year with I forget the guy's name that was the Patriots running back right now. His name is leaving me, but I actually have him in my Madden league. Why can't I think of this dude's name? Sony Michel. Yeah. Sony Michel. So even Sony Michel had 1,000 yards last year as a running back. You can't have a 600, 700-yard rusher and in most cases and win the Super Bowl. You're gonna need a guy who can get you 1,000 yards, 1,200 yards on the ground, that can tough up those yards. We had LeGarrette Blount as well on our Super Bowl run. Patriots had LeGarrette Blount when they won their, previous Super Bowls. So, of course, the quarterback position, is going to get the most and be the most highlighted. But I think when you look at the running back position as well, let's look at the playoff teams from last year. Let's look at the NFC. So we had now not Philly. I don't know how. First of all, I'm just thankful we won. We made it to the playoffs because Nick Foles' heroics got us there, and our defense got us there. But our running game was non-existent last year, and that's one of the reasons why we weren't as good as we could have been. Also, major injuries derailed us, and basically, we probably shouldn't have been there, but we toughed it out, and that's just football. That's just how it is. You got to grind it out sometimes. But you look at, we made the playoffs. We like I said, we didn't really have a running game, but we were kind of anomaly. The Rams, they got Todd Gurley, and he got hurt, kind of near the end of the season. But you got Todd Gurley, you got Alvin Kamara. They were a playoff team. You had the Chargers. They were a playoff team. They had Melvin Gordon, who is a great back. He's in a holdout situation right now. I don't think he should be holding out because I looked at his numbers and I was like, dang, dude, you really haven't dominated like some of these other running backs have. But the man trying to get his money. I ain't mad at him. You got Seattle, who Chris Carson came on, and they do also have do operating kind of running back by committee, but they're not primarily, but they're a pretty balanced team. They run the ball a lot. You got Dallas with Zeke, so you got Pittsburgh, James Conner came on. So, a lot of these teams, man, you need a running game. You got to have balance. You got to have a running game. So, I don't know. I don't know why I can't say I don't know why, but I feel like the running back position should be valued more, especially like I said, those top ones that are getting 80 catches a year, 70 catches a year, also getting almost 300 rushing attempts a year. That's almost 400 times where you have a possibility of getting popped. You know what I mean? And running backs aren't getting hit softly. They aren't like sliding on the ground. They aren't running out of bounds, most of them. Like they're getting hit, you know what I'm saying, by 260, 200 and, you know, sometimes 300-pound guys. So, you know, yeah, I think Zeke is doing the right thing by trying to like get his money. But like if the Cowboys decide not to, you know what I'm saying, they don't have to. They're just risking a chance to like win some key important games. So anyway, week 1, I'm excited for it. That's enough about the Cowboys. I'm sick to my stomach now. Week 1, the first game goes Green Bay and Chicago. A lot of people have high hopes for Chicago. I don't. I think that Chicago will be like an 8-8, 9-7 team this year. Just because I think people are expecting and hoping for Mitchell Trubisky to take that next step. I think that I don't think that Mitchell Trubisky is going to be a guy that you can expect to throw like 28 to 33 touchdowns a year. You know, low interception rate. For one, they don't have like top key receivers. Allen Robinson is like their top guy. And Allen Robinson's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good. But he's not great. And they got, you know, Taylor Gabriel. They got this other, I think it's Anthony Miller. And we don't know how he's going to be. So, I think we expect more out of their tight end who came from the Eagles. What's the dude named? Trey Burton. I think we're expecting more out of him, and you know, we'll see if their chemistry can come together, because they had, you know, their first like real offseason together. So we'll see. But like I said, I think 8-8, 9-7, even though their defense is top notch. Like, I know I addressed the offense first, but the question mark is Mr. Trubisky. Like, and also I would say their running game too. Like, I don't know how their running game is gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna have like true balance. Matt Nagy got to figure that out, but you know. Yeah, I don't know, man. I also don't know their schedule, but just based off of going, you know, my opinion, I'm gonna say right now 8-8, 9-7. So we got Green Bay, Chicago first at Soldier Field. That's gonna be an amazing game. I can't wait to see that game. My cable comes back on the day that game comes on, so I can't wait. I put that on hold because I was just like, man, like, ain't no point in me watching. I'm not watching TV right now. Let's just keep that off. Save me a few dollars. So we got Tennessee and Cleveland week 1. We got Baltimore and Miami week 1. We got Atlanta, Minnesota, Bills, New York. I don't know who's watching that game outside of the upper New York area. Washington, Philly. You know I'm going to be trying to watch that game. Hopefully it comes on TV, but I doubt it, because probably the Panthers. The Panthers always comes on. Yeah, and they got that time slot, so I'll probably be watching the Panthers and the Rams, and then just keeping my eye on Philadelphia and Washington. Kansas City, Jacksonville, week 1. That's gonna be great because I want to see that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey matchup. Patrick Mahomes, you know, like we saw how exciting he is to watch, so excited for that. The Colts and the Chargers. We'll see how Jacoby Brissett. Shout out to Jacoby. I listen to Jalen and Jacoby, like I probably told y'all before. It's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Jalen Rose is one of my favorite people in the world. So really excited about that. The Bengals against Seattle. They're matching up. AJ Green, like I said, I mentioned earlier, that's my dog. He's gonna be out for a while, so I'm going to say Seattle going to win that game. I hope Chris Carson has a big game because he's on my fantasy team. Tyler Boyd, too. And also, you know, let me know in the comment section about your fantasy team. Like, you know, post your fantasy teams and tell me, like, who you think is going to be, like, a breakout star this year. I probably should have posted this and asked y'all before, because I'm in this league where it's a money league. And this is my first like money league that I've ever done, where I've actually put money in, and you know, there's a big pot. So, you know, I probably should have got y'all advice beforehand, but hey, I gotta go by what I think. So, you know, I'm gonna post my fantasy team too, and y'all let me know how I did. So post that in the comments, let me know, show some love. New York Giants and Dallas play, like I said. Detroit and Arizona. Kyler Murray, number 1 pick. See how he does. San Francisco, Tampa Bay. Porn star Jimmy. See what porn star Jimmy do this year. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I think I got high hopes for Jimmy Garoppolo, man. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. Right on the cusp of Pro Bowl maybe some season. So we'll see. I mean, it's real early in his career, but we'll see how he progresses. He has the right offensive coordinator, I'll tell you that. Pittsburgh and New England, that's going to be a really exciting game too. I have Ben Roethlisberger as my quarterback, so hoping that he does well. But I also have New England's defense, so I don't know how that's going to go. I also have the Browns defense, so, you know, I don't know. I think I'm probably going to start the Browns defense this week. But we got Houston and New Orleans on the Monday night. So we got 2 Monday night games. I like that. Okay. So we got Houston and New Orleans. And then we have Denver and Oakland rounding it out for Monday night. So really exciting week for football. I'll probably cover more in depth and detail about like what I think about certain teams or breakout teams this season, my projected records for the year. But I'm gonna wrap this up, man. I'm so thankful, like I said, for you guys taking the time to listen. If you made it this far, really appreciate you. You can support me by hitting a like, hitting subscribe. I'm gonna really do my best to be like really consistent with these. I'm not gonna tell y'all right now like how often I'm gonna post these, but I'm really trying hard to like do this the right way and just keep them coming. You know, just keep them coming. Consistency is what helps people build their brand, and hard work, and I'm just about that right now. So, you know, really excited for this football season. Really excited for this upcoming basketball season as well. Y'all know basketball is really like, I love basketball and football, but I would say like basketball I'm like really passionate about. And you know, I can't wait for this upcoming season as well. We got parity in the NBA finally. Such an amazing time to be a NBA basketball fan. And college football started as well. I wasn't able to like really jump into that, but my Clemson Tigers won. Carolina stand up. I'm really excited for the Clemson Tigers this season. And you know, we just gonna keep it going, man. Just gonna keep it going. You are listening to Unpopular Opinion. This is your boy AB. I'm signing out. Peace.